What's up, YouTube? How is everyone? I hope good. I'm here today with a 3-pile reading. It's kind of a reading. I am in the process of making my own tarot decks. So I have almost two of them done. But the first one is called Sunny D of Tarot cards. Obviously after me. And so I went ahead and shuffled them. Drew 5 cards for each pile, and I'm here to share them with you. So tell me what you think, okay? Why don't we go like this? Why don't we choose oh, shoot, if I can hold it. This stone for pile 1. It's kind of a greenish looking stone. I don't know the name of it. Let's go with Tiger's Eye. And if you don't have a tiger's eye, get it, because it will protect you against a lot of different things. Negative energy, bad spirits, demons, that type of stuff. And from people. And let's do the green, this stone. Okay. So pile 1, this is your stone. Pile 2, Tiger's Eye. And pile 3, Greenstone. I don't know the names of all of them. I should learn them, but I won't, because I just won't. So let's start with pile 1. You are up. The first card that you received is you have a special connection with animals. So pay attention to all animals that are around you, your own pets, the wildlife. Like if you live where I live, we have tons of deer everywhere. That I have a soul connect. Our souls, like my souls, connect with animal souls. So I have a really strong bond with them. And I really, like if I'm out in my yard, they'll all come around me and surround me. But they tend to, like when I look at them, they'll look directly right back at me in our eyes. It's like kind of like when you meet, if you've ever met your soulmate, I mean, you make eye contact and it's like, holy cow. I mean, you just get this feeling throughout your whole body and you just know. I mean, there's no denying it. And that's how I feel towards animals. All animals. I mean, all animals love me. And I love them I love them all. You think I'd be a vegetarian? I tried that, and I just grew up on meat for so long, it's hard for me to do that. I really want to do that, because every time I eat, let's say like a hamburger or something like that, sorry, my eyes have been really bad lately because of my allergies, but when I eat meat, it makes me feel really guilty, but I really like it, so just pay attention to that. You can meditate on it and ask spirit to help you connect more with animals. You will get a lot of guidance from them. Pay attention to whatever animal, or like say if you see butterflies a lot, that type of stuff, that's typically might be your deceased loved ones sending messages to you. But if you see one specific thing all the time, that's typically your spirit animal. And so if you do, then go ahead and research it, and they will tell you exactly what they mean. And maybe I should do a video on that. I could do like a couple different one explaining what each spirit animal does. That would be good. I'll do that. Your second one is speak only kind, loving words. At times we all get upset. I do myself, and I cuss like a sailor anyways. I have a horrible mouth. People find offense to it. I don't. I think that we should be able to say and do whatever we want. That's the way I live, and that's the way I want to live, and I'm going to live. So I've always had a horrible mouth. I grew up with older brothers. I always blame them, but I think it was just me, period. I don't even think they had anything to do with it. I doubt it. But, speak only kind words towards yourself, especially. Sometimes we get into a relationship with, it could be a friend, it could be with our parents, it could be with, our romantic partner, and they tend to, kind of throw digs at you, or like in my case, when I was growing up, my family, my dad and stepmom and then my brothers and sisters kind of joined on the bandwagon would tell me how fat and ugly I was and how I wouldn't amount to shit and I was just like this horrible person and I was a black sheep of my family and just on and on and on. Well, after so long, you start to believe that. Well, it's really unfortunate because, no matter what we look like on the outside, beauty comes from within first. And, the most, the person that's not that attractive on the outside could be the most beautiful person on the inside. And I think that we all need to realize that and we all need to, really focus on that instead of, outside appearances could be great. You could be the most beautiful person in the world, but you could be the ugliest person because you're, on the inside, you're mean and you're evil and you're just shitty to people and you don't care about anyone except yourself. And so, when you are speaking with others, use kind words. It doesn't make you less macho to be sensitive and loving. I mean, I think to me, it makes you more macho to be that way. And it makes you more attractive. And, you attract, more positive, better people in your life when you are, using loving type gestures or love, in your everyday life. Because then you're not attracting these negative narcissists, type people. You attract loving, kind people. So just keep that in mind. Stop lying and tell the truth, or spirit will make sure that the truth comes out. So if you are, my handwriting's terrible, but I'll show you the cards anyways. If you have something that you're not telling the truth about, or something that somebody should know, or you are lying to your spouse or your friends or your parents or something about something, just come clean with it. Because you know what, it takes a bigger person to actually speak the truth. It takes a bigger person to help somebody when they're in trouble or they're needing the truth, of the real truth, so they know what is going on and what to expect or what they should do about their situation. By telling lies, lying only gets you nowhere. I mean, lying obviously opens the doors to the devil to come in, but it also, your relationships suffer and your relationship with yourself suffers because you're holding in lies and when you should just speak them out and tell the truth, even if they're hurtful, even if you know the worst thing about somebody or about their family or about their friends or spouse. It's better to tell them the truth than to allow this person to be in agony and just wondering what the heck, or if just say that your best friend is cheating on his wife and his wife is asking you, is he cheating on me? Well, sure, it's not that great to be the person that tells on your friend. No one wants to do that, but it also eventually they're going to find out and they're going to look at you like, well, why didn't you tell me? And you're like, well, I couldn't do that to my friend. Well, the thing is that person that has been lied to is never going to look at you the same. To me, I would rather have somebody tell me the truth, even if it hurts me. I mean, really, really bad. I try to always speak the truth. We all do white lies. I don't care who you are. We all, at one time, or another throughout our life, tell white lies. I mean, when you call in sick, but you're not really sick. Well, that's a white lie. So I can't say that we never lie. But a person that lies to me, I cannot trust. I will not trust. And I won't really have that much to do with them because if I can't trust somebody, I can't have them in my life. So the next one is trust your intuition more, as it never lies to you. So we all have that. I'm very intuitive. I mean, I know stuff and people are like, how the hell do you know that? And I'm like, I don't know, I just know. Well, back then I didn't know, but we all have that gut feeling. When you get that gut feeling, even if at the end it proves you wrong, go with your gut feeling. Go with that. Don't listen to Joe Blow over here or Susie Lynn down the street. Go with your gut feeling. Because probably about 90% of the time that gut feeling is going to be right. And if not, oh well. It's not going to, harm you if you make a bad decision that way. It does harm you if you're not listening to your gut feeling and say your friends are going to go out and go party and then they want to drive home and on the way home, they want to do a bunch of drugs, and you're like, oh, man, I swear we're going to get pulled over. Well, if you feel that way, then I'd be like, I'll find my own way home, or let's not drive home. Let's, get a cab or call somebody or, just whatever. I mean, whatever your situation is. But To me, it's better, you're better off following that gut feeling than you are not. And don't let other people tell you, well, that's just a superstitious, stition, if I could talk. Or, that's, people don't do that, or that's stupid. Don't believe in that shit. No, I'm telling you from personal experience and knowing, and I'm very intuitive, do follow that, because it will save you a lot of trouble and a lot of hassle than, in the end, than if you didn't listen to it. So, stop being a narc, as not every spirit likes a narc. Try focusing on you. Okay, now after I just said, well, maybe you should narc on your friend. What I mean by that situation is a little bit different than this. People, and this might piss some people off, or you might look at me a lot different, but I'm just going to use that as a scenario. Say my friend Linda Lou down the street is a drug dealer. And, all these people are buying drugs from her. All these people are buying drugs from her. They're getting their fill. Well, that person that's buying the drugs ends up getting caught with those drugs, okay? Back in the day, if you did this, you would have been killed. They would have killed you. You never were, you knew better to be a narc. Well, nowadays, people, and this is just an example of how it can work. It doesn't have to be really drug related or anything, but say her name is, Linda Lou's a drug dealer, and Joe Blow down the street is buying drugs from her. Well, Joe Blow goes out one night, gets all loaded, and gets caught with all these drugs that he's been buying from Linda Lou. So they take him to jail, and they start questioning him. So who'd you buy the drugs from? We want to know their name, and if you do that, we'll take a month off your sentence or whatever. Or you won't have to do probation or whatever they promise people. Well, for one thing, don't believe the promises, because those are lies, because they don't have any say in what's going to happen to that person. Only the judge does. But so he starts spilling his guts. Oh my God, Linda Lou down the street at 2719 28th Street sells to everybody in town, and this is what they do, and this is, the times, dates, and this is all the stuff I've done, bought from her. Okay, so then Linda Lou gets busted, and Joe, they're in jail. The thing is, my point of this is that he didn't have to take really responsibility for what he's doing wrong. He turned around and blamed it on the person that's providing whatever they're providing, whatever kind of drugs they're providing to him. So that person goes down. The thing is yes, the whole thing is frowned upon. But there are going to be drug dealers in this world. There are going to be narcs. But the thing is spirit does not condone what he did. Two wrongs don't make a right. When you are doing something wrong and you know it's wrong and you get caught doing it, you don't sit and blab everybody's mouth that's been right behind you. You stand up and you take responsibility for that, because it's your choice. It's that person's choice that's selling the drugs, but it's not your responsibility or your right as a human and as a loving, compassionate person to tell on this person to get yourself out of trouble. I don't know if that makes sense. I hope this makes sense. Because that's up to the universe to decide when that person gets in trouble, not the person that got in trouble. Because obviously that person getting caught, the universe decided it was that time. It didn't decide that Linda Lou was going to get caught. It decided Joe was going to get caught. So I hope that makes sense. That's just like that's an example. That's the only thing I can think of. When you think of narc, that's what I think of. But for some reason, that's one of the messages that they wanted me to say and wanted me to portray out there. And, when you make a decision, you made that decision. If it was right or wrong, you need to take responsibility. You need to stand up. Cheating. If you and your spouse were cheating and your friend knew it and the other friend knew it. Well, to me, like if you run, say it's your best friend. If you run straight to their spouse and we're like, trying to make it all gossipy and, this is what's going on and da-da-da. Okay, now to me that's being a narc. But, after a while, you're sitting back. For me, if that was happening, I would tell my friend, I don't agree with what you're doing. If your spouse were to ask me if you were doing that, I would not lie for you. That's what I would say. That's another scenario. So I hope that makes sense. That's kind of hard to explain, but don't be a narc, because nobody likes a narc. And like I said, back in the day, people used to get killed for that, because you just keep your mouth shut. You worry about you, let them worry about them. You're in trouble, you stand up and take that trouble. They'll get in trouble eventually, but you don't have to be the person that takes that person down. Let alone when I've done a lot of drugs in my life. You can go to jail. When you get out, you still want to do those drugs unless you somehow sober up and you go decide not to do them or go to rehab or whatever people do. So you still need that person. And if you narked on them, what do you think they're going to do? They're not going to help you, which might be a good thing. But probably no one else in town will either, because no one likes a narc. And then if you end up in prison and you narked on somebody, oh, Lord help you. So that's my example, though. Anyways, so that's what I had for you, pile one. I hope it resonated. I hope it made sense. I hope I did not offend anybody with my example, but this is real life, so I'm going to use real life on my channel, because I live real life. I've lived it, and I'm still living it. So I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, and I'll tell you, I've never narked on anybody. I never will, and I never, unless it's directly towards me. If it's a crime that's being committed towards me, then you bet your sweet ass I want justice. But if it's something I'm doing and I'm getting it from somebody else or whatever, no, I'm taking responsibility for that. I'm the one, and that these people when you're breaking the law, you're breaking the law. So if you get caught, there's a chance you could go to jail or prison. So that's the chance that you're taking from the first day that you decide to do it up until whenever it ends or whatever. So don't be a narc. Stand up, stand tall and take your punishment, because that's what Spirit wants us to do. Don't be a narc. Okay, moving on to pile two. Pile two, you are the tiger's eye. Your first card is love yourself first. I promise it's not selfish. This is one thing that throughout my journey and throughout all my hardships and still all the things I go through every day in my life, is the hardest thing that we can learn to do, that we need to learn to do. Because if we don't love ourselves, and it's not true, we can't say no one else is going to love us, but we cannot provide the proper love to another person without loving ourselves first, if that makes sense, and respecting ourselves. When we don't love ourselves, that's when we have negative thinking. We don't appreciate, what Spirit and the higher above have given us, what we look like, what we do, what we offer, and what we put out into the world. And we don't appreciate anything because we don't love ourselves enough to appreciate all that we have. And then that kind of trickles down. Then we allow people to not respect us, not show us any, any type of respect. We will, at times, will go sleep around with everybody in town because we don't have enough respect to say no, because we're searching for something that we're not giving ourselves. But we think that other people should be providing to us, but we need to give it to ourselves, and then we won't be looking on the outside for that feeling or that, that knowing, or to make us feel good about ourselves. We'll just automatically feel good about ourselves. It's an everyday process. You have to work on it every day. You will till the end of the road. You will have to, do things that show yourself, that will give you self-respect. You have to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, you could be the ugliest person on the outside, but still look in the mirror. And if you have self-love, you could feel like you're like, let's see, Cindy Crawford. I mean, you can find yourself looking that way. And when you are like that, more people on the outside have more respect for you, and they also will help your self-respect and self-love grow, because they will be showing you, they will be treating you and looking at you the way that you really truly deserve. Back in, when I was younger, like I said, I grew up, my dad, and I was always put down, and I've learned now, but it took me 44 years to learn it, that what they were doing was they were doing it to me because they could. But they were only doing it because that's how they felt about themselves. And when you do feel that shit about yourselves, that's when you do go around gossiping. That's when you do put people down. You're judging them, and you're always talking about them and what they've done in their life and the mistakes and what they've gone through, because it makes you feel better. But when you have self-love and respect, you don't have to do that. You don't have to get off, get your kicks off on somebody's husband leaving them, or them going to jail for a DUI and stuff like that, because it won't make you feel better about yourself. It actually, once you learn that self-love and respect, you actually have a lot of sympathy for people. You look at them and you're like, oh, like me, I'm like, oh, fuck, I've been through that. Oh my God, I feel so bad for them. Because I've had, I had a DUI and it was a freaking nightmare. But I will tell you, I've never drove drunk ever again, and I never will. For one thing, it woke me up. I'm like, I could have killed somebody. I could have killed my own daughter and myself, and then whoever else, was on the road, a family, or just even a single person driving home to their family. So, it's everything that we do, and if we give ourselves, when I talk about self-love and respect, I'm not talking about ego and I'm better than everybody and I'm beautiful, so Susie Lynn down the street, she's ugly because I'm just way better than her. No, because when you have self-love and respect, you don't have those thoughts. You look at everybody as an equal. You look at everybody as they're beautiful, they're handsome, because you look at them as a human being. You look at them as, they're part of you. We're all part of each other. Our energies flow together. This world is all together. People that are racist and sexist and all that stuff, they have no self-love, for one thing, or respect, and they have no respect for anything. They don't even have respect for the universe, Mother Earth, nothing. Because if they did, they wouldn't do that to another human being. But our energy is always flowing. Everybody says we bleed the same. Yeah, we do. But our energies are always crossing paths. It's like this constantly. And right now in the world, it's like, it's going so crazy and it's like out of control that the energy is not able to kind of come together. And that's what's wrong. And people don't understand that. Everything in life is energy. I'm an energy healer. I can heal. And people actually, just by talking to me, I can heal them. That's how strong my energy is. A lot of people don't like me, or they fear me because they can feel my energy and they don't like the way it makes them feel. Well, what can I do? Or they don't understand me, or they think, I don't know, weird things. But this is going to have to be a two-parter video, I can already tell, because it's already at 22 minutes. Okay, so love yourself first, always. Even over your own children, you have to love yourself first. You have to put yourself first. Because when you do, like I said, everything else will flow, and everything else will, be a lot better, and you'll feel better, and and then you'll have love and respect for other people and understand it. So it's very, very important. And actually my next deck that I'm working on is self-love and respect. So that's really important. Okay, so your next card, the need to be out in nature is extremely important for you at this time. And it is for everybody. When we are having a bad day, when we are depressed, when we say our boyfriend broke up with us, or a girlfriend, or we lose somebody to death, or we just need to free our mind and our body and our heart and our souls, the best thing you can do is be out in nature. Take off your shoes, go to the park, take off your shoes, walk in the grass. Even if you're out there for 10 minutes, because you are connecting to Mother Earth. You're connecting to Earth. It is grounding you, it is pulling you in, and it is wrapping its arms around you and being, and giving you the peace, and, getting rid of all that negativity, getting rid of all those bad thoughts that we all have. We all have them. It allows your mind to be free. Breathe in that air. Meditate. I love to meditate outside. I love to go to the park here. That's one thing I love, the park where I live. I grew up here, and this is a very special place to me. As a kid, I really did have a hard life. I went through a lot more than I ever knew. But it really brings me peace. There isn't peace where I live, though. The people in here, they're not peaceful. There's bad things that go on. And it's been going on since I was a kid and way before I was a kid. And you can see, I can feel it. I could see it in people I know. And that's why people avoid me, because they know I can see right through them, which is fine. I mean, I am who I am. I can't change who I am. I don't want to change who I am. I love me. I can help a lot of people if they allow me to. And I know that's my purpose in life. And I know my purpose, I have a purpose. And there's a reason why I moved here. Because there's nothing to do here. I mean, I don't have any friends here. So you would think I would just get up and move. Well, I try to. And then I'm just like, well, I'm not done here yet. So when I'm done here, maybe I might move. Or I might just stay here and live a peaceful life because it's very peaceful here and I like that. So, okay, moving on. I'm going to have to stop this video. I'm going to go ahead and stop it now. So pile 2, you have 3 cards left. So it will be on part 2 of my next videos. And I apologize it's broken into 2 parts, but I can only record for 30 minutes and I've already been talking for 30 minutes. So, okay, so part 2 is coming after this video uploads. It might be a little bit because it takes forever, so please be patient. I love you all. Thank you very much. I will see you on my next video. Sending much love, positive vibes, healing, and peace always. Hey, do something kind for somebody today. You know, even if it's just a kind word, people really do appreciate it. They might not act like it, but they do. And show the world love. We need more love in the world. We need to get rid of all this anger and violence and hate and gossip and everything else that's going on. No more negativity. You can change your mindset. Remember that. Change your mindset. Be kind. Peace.